All right. For my next guest, she has been such a great addition to my community. She has helped me in several of my events. We actually first met while she was volunteering at a mutual friends community called Musubi Tech. She is a project manager at a Japanese SaaS company and a really great person who has a really excellent English accent. Mana Yamashita, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me today.
Yes. I'm super excited to have this chat because I know that, you've been doing a lot of work in the community and you've kind of, wanted to dabble in starting your own potentially. So I wanted
Mhm.
to have this chat to talk a little bit about that. But first, let's learn a little bit about you. Who are you? And yeah, tell us a little bit about your story.
Okay, my name is Mana, and I was born and raised in Japan and currently work as a project manager and customer success at a Japanese software company. And my main focus is improving the customer experience around multi-product onboarding because our company provides several back office tools for small businesses like accounting, HR, payroll, attendance, or sales management, like everything.
Mhm.
So, my focus is like improving those customer experiences, especially like multi-product onboarding, because the challenge is like when customers try to roll out multi-products at once, like things get messy pretty quickly. So my like work is mostly about like bridging communications between stakeholders
Mm,
and enhancing them and to make sure everyone is on the same page.
excellent.
Yeah, that's my work.
Okay. So yeah, how did you get into the role? I mean, did you always want to be a customer service agent or how did you get into it? Yeah.
Actually, I started my career as a sales. I did
Mm,
sales for the first 3 months, but I thought it's not a great fit for me. So
hmm
I asked the HR and I wanted to go to customer success department. So I like moved to the customer success department. And since then, yeah, I do customer success. And project management role is pretty like new in our
hmm
company.
hmm
So
I
it's not
see.
like I wanted to do or like it kind of started.
Right. Okay. And excellent. So, who do you mostly chat to? Do you mostly chat to people who are, building tech companies, or do you chat to mostly people from abroad? Like, who are you talking to? Yeah.
Our customers are like 98% are Japanese.
Okay.
So yeah, but across the industry. So it mostly like SMB company. So it's not
hmm
enterprise, it's the small companies, but
hmm
yeah, mostly Japanese and across the industries.
Nice, excellent. So, yeah, we have to ask you about your English. I mean, Japan is,
Okay.
I think, ranked near the bottom in the world when it comes to English proficiency. And,
Okay.
so I want to know, like, your English journey. How did you get so good at English?
Well, yeah, it's gonna be a long story, but I don't want to talk too much. But
Please, it's okay.
I didn't study abroad actually,
Mm,
but how I get to the point like today is I think I changed the my mindset of like learning English
hmm
because back in high school or like after university, I was focusing on like studying it and to get higher score in TOEIC.
hmm
And at the time, I was like studying to prove my skill on the paper
hmm
because I was thinking like English is like good skill to have. It's better to have.
hmm
So at the time, I have no motivation. But then during COVID, I couldn't go to school. Then I thought I need to focus on something. Then I was looking for someone I can really like into or I can truly like keep watching it. Then
hmm
I found a role model and I since then I changed my mind and started like stopped studying it and started learning
hmm
instead. And I got really into the role model.
hmm
She's American influencer. And I copy her everything, like way of speaking, accent, or like
hmm
even vibe, or even like perspective, like
hmm
for life.
hmm
Then yeah, then I practice, and became like this.
Okay.
I hope it
You,
makes sense.
you brought up a really interesting point where you said I stopped studying and I started learning. Can you tell me a
Mhm.
little bit in your perspective what that difference was? What is the difference between studying and then learning?
Mhm. Okay. From my perspective, like studying is getting knowledge or
hmm
like a learning, like a rules. for
Hmm.
example. English should be like this, like subject, verb, like objects, like those kind of things. It's like study, getting knowledge from textbooks or like professionals. Learning is more like proactive. I think like studying is like getting knowledge is basically like a reserve and just accept it. But learn is like try to like get like new things, like and do something or get new things.
Hmm.
So like to me, like when I change my mind, learn is like my for me, like learning is like just follow my interest or
Hmm.
my curiosity. For example, oh, I want to say something in English. Oh, how can I say it? This kind of is learning. It's not like using vocabulary list and oh, this is gonna be useful. Like this kind of like proactive
Right.
attitude is kind of
Hmm.
learning.
Yeah. And you actually found what you said, like a role model to help you be interested in learning a language, right? You were able to copy her, you were able to, mimic her, right? And her accent and everything. And that's why you have such a great accent at the moment. So I wanted to ask you, in Japan, how do you guys learn your own language, Japanese? And then do you
Mhm.
approach learning English the same way?
Well, in Japanese, I think we have Japanese class, but
Hmm.
it basically is about learning rules. For example,
Hmm.
we have to use this word in this context. This kanji is like this way.
Hmm.
So in Japanese, like like there are a lot of rules, really complex things.
Hmm.
So we getting basically getting knowledge. And we do exactly the same thing about English. I think that's the
Hmm.
biggest problem because English, they are rules, but it's mostly about communications or like vibes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the approach is like getting knowledge and just possess the knowledge. So a
Hmm.
lot of people like have knowledge of English, but they don't use it because they don't know how to use it.
Hmm.
And we don't really have like practice of like discussion or conversation class. We're mostly focusing on like textbooks and reading. So I think the biggest problem,
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that here in Japan, test scores, certifications, all those type things are extremely important. And maybe that's why people, approach learning English the same way. They want to get a certain score, but then after that, once they get the score, it's finished.
yeah.
Can you resonate with that? I mean, is that something that still do you see in the corporate world and your studies, those type things?
Yeah, definitely. And recently, I have interviewed with students as an interviewer, and many students say, I want to use English in my work. I want to learn English.
Hmm.
But in my opinion, it's okay. It's really great to learn English, but English is just a tool. It's not purpose. It's not goal. So how do you want to use the tool? Let's say you became really fluent, and how do you want to do, or what do you want to do with the tool? Is the like biggest question, but a lot of people don't know the answer because their focus is learning English and getting higher score, then prove my skill.
Hmm.
So, but it's basically just to prove to others, right? They don't really have like I don't know intrinsic motivation, and that's why a
Yeah.
lot of people feel stuck even if they reach higher score or like academic background.
What was your motivation to learn English?
That's a great question, but I think yeah, first my role model. I love her so much, so that was my motivation, absolutely. But I think I enjoyed the difference between the way I am in Japanese than the way I am in English.
Mm.
So many people say I look totally different when I talk in English and Japanese. So that means like I'm kind of enjoying the like contrast of like expressing myself or showing my emotions or like
Hmm.
having conversation with others. And like more I get fluent, I can see the contrast or difference. And that's think this is really my motivation. Oh, it's interesting. I just enjoy the communications or like
Hmm.
interaction with like a lot of people.
Very, very interesting. And you really bring up a great point where, the language that you speak or the languages you know actually affect how you think, right? So, how
Mhm.
has learning English helped you think differently?
Um, that's yeah. I think in Japanese, when I say something, I try to like read the room. So it would say, for example, when when I thought something, oh, that's too bad. I cannot say it. Um, so like try to like adjust the vibe or like
Hmm.
nuance,
Hmm.
so that I can like I don't want to make other people uncomfortable. So, but in English, like sometimes we can be very direct. I'm not saying it's rude, but it's sometimes it's clearer. We can do clearer communications. So I found myself that I subconsciously like I'm sugarcoating many things.
Yeah.
Yeah, so because I try to like avoid conflicts or
Hmm.
like yeah, I don't know, yeah, mostly conflicts.
Hmm.
But when I like learn English or like when I talk in English, I can be clear.
Hmm.
And yeah, I realize that sometimes those kind of like politeness like bothers me.
Mm.
Because
Interesting.
I can reach the point that I couldn't reach a point or I couldn't say something I really wanted to say because I was like caring about like their other people's reaction too much.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I think I could be more, I don't want to say critical, but yeah, that English mindset, like clear communications or like there's something not directly, but more directly than Japanese. That
Mm.
helps me.
100%. And yeah, like Japanese is a very context-driven language in the sense that
Yeah.
you need to explain, 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 and then the final point is at the end of the sentence.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? But then in English, the point is usually in the first couple of words. Like we get right to the point usually. And yeah, the different communication styles are like worlds apart. That's why it's so
Mhm.
hard, I think, for Japanese learners to really understand English and use it because even for me, when I'm speaking Japanese, when I'm trying to at least, the grammar is backwards, literally all over the place. It's very
Yeah.
different from English, right? So it's something where I could see a lot of students struggling with that. But
Hmm.
yeah, like the way you think about things definitely changes based on the language that you learn. And
Yeah.
how do you feel about expressing yourself in either language? Do you think you can express your emotions and feelings better in Japanese or better in English?
Speaking of fluency, Japanese is absolutely the like
Mm.
first language, like best language for me.
Mhm.
But showing my emotions,
Mhm.
I think English is better because like I said earlier, like when I talk in Japanese, I try to adjust the vibe and like focusing on others, like if everyone is agree with that or is there any person feel bit uncomfortable, like
Mhm.
because we are a group-oriented culture,
Mhm.
so sometimes like oh I think this way, but is it okay to say it right now? So
Mhm.
like expressing my emotions or like, for example, let's say about a compliment, like,
Mhm.
I love your shirt. Like it's very natural, like normal thing in English. But in Japanese, like, ah, その T シャツ可愛いですね. It's like pretty awkward.
Yeah, a little bit, yes.
So like, yeah, just like to be honest, like showing my emotions or like expressing myself, I think English is like makes me feel free or yeah.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's another benefit, right? You're able to express different parts of your identity and personality potentially with a different language to a different audience. Whereas, you still keep part of your identity, your fluency with that Japanese side. It actually, learning another language gives you another superpower, right?
Yeah,
It,
absolutely.
right? So, if you had any advice for any Japanese watching this that want to improve their English, what advice would you give them?
I think first, just like set your goal or clarify what's the purpose of learning.
Mm,
Because that's the biggest thing. For example, some people get like higher degree in English or like want to get,
mm,
social status by using English. Some people just want to talk, or some people just want to like listen to music and copy it. So what's the purpose of English?
mm,
Learning English. That's the first thing. And second, and just then with the goal,
mm,
just think about the way of learning it. Is
mm,
it actually effective, or is it like the best way to reach your goal?
mm,
It's the biggest thing, setting your goal and try to figure out the best way to reach the point. Third is a mindset.
mm. That's the hardest part.
Everything's mindset because Japanese people are really smart and they know English. Just because they don't know how to use English, it's just because they're like kind of they hesitate to use English,
Yeah.
kind of be afraid of using English and making mistakes.
Mm.
They don't speak well. I
Yeah.
think the it is biggest problem,
Yeah.
and in my opinion, I think English is kind of like one of the acting or like acting like an English speaker. So it's all about mindset. I don't want to generalize thing, but when I talk in English, I don't think I'm Japanese who speak English. I think
Oh,
I'm English speaker. You know what I
right.
mean?
Right. That's a good mindset to have. How did you cultivate that mindset, as you were on this journey?
I think my turning point is I stopped pursuing perfection.
Mm.
Like I mentioned, I have role model,
Hmm.
and she's so real. She's like famous YouTuber. She's currently doing modeling or other things as well.
Hmm.
But yeah, she's very like public. She's public figure, but even on social media, she was so real.
Hmm.
And like she shares like not only by good things, but also like when she had a bad day or embarrassing things, she shares it. And I
Hmm.
thought, okay, like she enjoyed the imperfection.
Hmm.
Then I learned from the attitude, and I think at the time I tried to be perfect. Oh, I don't want to make mistakes. Does it sound right? Does it sound natural? But from her attitude, I think, oh, okay, it doesn't have to be. It does, nothing is perfect, and it doesn't
Hmm.
have to be perfect.
Right.
Then I from that I cultivate a mind
Hmm.
of stop like pursuing perfection and just like enjoy my progress or like you know
Yeah.
many aspects of my life.
I can totally resonate with that. As a teacher, I would always tell my students, it's okay to fail because once you fail, you learn what to not to do next time. If you don't try, you don't learn. And you
Yeah.
you have, I just take it back to when we were all babies. Did we start walking, from day one?
Yeah. So,
No,
I mean,
right?
like maybe it's my philosophy.
Exactly, right? We just, kind of, started crawling and then fall down and get up. Our parents didn't say, "Oh, bad baby, you did a bad job of walking." No, right? So even though you might have a teacher or a parent that's, telling you you're not good enough, remember inside that in order for you to actually learn the thing, you need to try. And I love that
Yeah.
you realize that by watching this American influencer. By the way, what is her name? Can you share with us?
Emma Chamberlain.
Emma Chamberlain. Okay, cool. So,
Yeah.
so she's a very famous YouTube star. Is that correct?
Yeah, but she's currently does modeling and also she has her own coffee brand. So
Mm.
she's also entrepreneur.
Oh, nice, nice, nice. So, how did you find this role model of yours?
Um, I think I was just like scrolling on YouTube
Mm.
and I wanted to improve my pronunciation,
Mm.
and so I was looking for someone who like who can copy.
Mm.
So it was pretty random. I watched a lot of YouTubers who are like, you know, influencers,
Hmm.
and she really like stuck with me, and oh, she's really nice.
It definitely shows the generation gap between you and I in terms of like influencers and stuff. Like, yeah, absolutely.
There's
No, I
a
think
huge gap, but having role model is really good
it
because
is. It is.
yeah, you can get the natural sense of like talking or expressing.
Hmm. Is she
Yeah,
similar age to you as well?
yeah, she's 1 year younger than me.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
One thing that people don't realize is that when you have a role model that's similar age in you, you kind of like so it's subconsciously it's like, oh, you can see yourself doing it. I'll tell you,
yeah.
I can tell you a quick story. When I first wanted to leave the US, I started on Snapchat and like Instagram
Hmm.
looking at like
Yeah.
other travel bloggers, and they
Hmm.
were all the same age as me. And I was living a life, where I worked 70 hours a week in a corporate, environment. I was like, I hate my life right now. Then I, I saw these guys and girls who were traveling the world, living abroad, and I was like, wait a second, they're the same age as me. I can
Yeah.
do that too, right? So that's what gave me the final push to really get my stuff together and get out of the
Hmm.
US. And I've been abroad for ten years now. So I think that you found a really good role model, and
Hmm.
it's really helped you get to where you want to be, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so some people ask me like how did you learn English or like what's your like like tips, and
Hmm.
I say like having clear purpose and
Hmm.
have a role model.
That's good. That's definitely good advice. Question for you is, you in the last event that you had helped me out with, you had said that you wanted to start your own potential English community, right? Can you tell us a little bit
Hmm.
about that?
Yeah, it's still like I haven't started. I've started nothing yet,
Hmm.
but I think I would like to make environment that people who can speak with confidence.
Hmm.
It's not like English teaching or it's not
Hmm.
like discussion class. Like it's also important, but
Hmm.
biggest thing is confidence.
Hmm.
So I want to share the like my experience as well, but I also like to share the time with
Yep.
people who want to like get the confidence with English.
Mm.
Yeah. So in our school, like in Japanese school, we don't really have discussion class,
Hmm.
or we don't really have like chance to talk talk in English, like practically. So I want to get the chance or like create an environment so they can like have like motivation and
Hmm.
like confidence
Mm.
because a lot of people seem so nervous when I talk in English, even though their sense is great, their pronunciation is great, like they don't look confident.
Mm.
Especially like I help you events sometimes and see some people, Japanese people like do pitching. They're
Hmm.
like, yeah, some of them are really fluent, but some of them are not really like
Yeah.
comfortable to talk
Hmm.
in English. I think it's because in public, but mostly about their language.
Yes, that's right.
So yeah, I love to like get chance to people get more confident.
Mm. That's a really good motivation and a really good initiative that you're planning. I hope you do end up actually doing it because, like you said, they don't have that chance to meet
Mhm.
people to actually speak in English in a safe environment. The whole reason
Yeah,
why they don't want to speak to foreigners because they're afraid of, failing and shame,
yeah.
right? But if you get a bunch of Japanese together and,
Mhm.
are speaking English together in a safe environment, it could be good. The only thing that I would watch out for is, switching back to Japanese when it's convenient, you know?
Uh,
Yeah, because I
yeah.
think a lot of times, these types of groups where it's like everyone has the same mother tongue, but then you're all trying to speak second language, sometimes it can
Hmm.
revert back to the mother tongue, but just gently bringing them back to the English, I think could help a lot?
Mm.
Where do you plan on doing this? At a cafe or what type of environment?
I don't know. I was planning until a few months ago, but we had to kind of cancel because of like
Mm-hmm.
I was doing I was planning with the another person and because of his
Mm-hmm.
issue we had to cancel.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would like to plan it again. I don't have specific timelines yet,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, recently I've getting more like connections or like network
Mm-hmm.
among global professionals. So I would
Mm-hmm.
like to like, connect with people more and talk with them, especially with Japanese people.
What level do you think would be best for this? Would complete beginners be best, or would somebody who has
Um,
some sort of like, English knowledge be best for this?
I think it's better to have like a basic skills. For
Hmm.
example, like, how are you? And if you could say, they couldn't say anything,
Mm.
that's kind of hard to keep conversation. So
Mm.
at least like bare minimum, like greeting or introductions, or what
Right.
do you do, what your hobby is. Yeah, but it's, I think a lot of people have that level.
Mm, yes, they do, right? They do. They just feel shy, I think.
Yeah, and there's a story. Actually, I'm a part of the English community member. It's more like membership only English community service,
Mm.
and I talk with a lot of Japanese people in English because it's like English conversation session. One foreign staff and other people are Japanese,
Hmm.
and when people came to the session for the first time. First thing, I think 70% of them say, "Oh, sorry, my English is not good."
Ah.
Before the self-introduction, they started from the phrase, "Sorry, my English is not good. I cannot talk in English." Oh no, you're talking in English right now.
Right.
But
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, man, you're talking English. But no, my English is not good. Sorry, sorry, sorry. No, don't be sorry. Like,
Right.
so I want to change the mindset and I want to encourage those people because a lot of people see me as I'm someone who studied abroad or grew up in other countries. So when I shared my backgrounds, they was like, "What? Oh, you're
Hmm.
so talented." No, I practice every single morning.
Oh, wow. That's it. That
So I would
dedication.
like to, yeah, share my experiences and yeah, hopefully it works for some people who want to start
Well,
improving English.
Well, hopefully, once you share this podcast with your audience, I think that it will inspire a lot of people. And anyone watching this who is interested in improving their English, I encourage them to reach out to you,
Yeah,
and just have a chat, right? Because that's what you're trying to set up. And you know,
yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
in our last conversation, I'm really trying to encourage you to do it because it's a lot easier than you think. A lot of people are looking for community and they're looking for events where they can get together with people who have the same interests, especially in this
Hmm.
day and age where technology seems like it's dividing us even more and more. I
Yeah,
think if you create a space that is safe, that is welcoming, that is, inclusive,
yeah,
for everyone, in the same level, I think it could be really powerful. And yes, like you said, you didn't study abroad, but you have an American accent. And you know what I mean? It's like you don't need to go to America in order to do that. You can, if you're dedicated and motivated, you can do it here in Japan. So
yeah.
you're living proof.
And yeah, before I recorded the episode, I was thinking about like I was looking back on my background or like my journey, then I think I told you the other day, I was perfectionist
Hmm.
before, and I still have this tendency, like because when you invited me to the podcast, like I don't think I'm good enough to be on
Yeah.
podcast, or like oh, I don't want to get criticisms or I don't want to be judged.
Wow.
And but it's not only about me. I think many people have this,
Hmm.
and I think it's based on, I don't want to blame our culture, but it's coming from our culture. It's kind of embarrassing to share like some like mistakes or yeah, something like half-baked thing. We don't want to share something like too private or like bad
Hmm.
quality. So we subconsciously try to like avoid making mistakes or like sometimes we judge others.
Mm.
For example, let's say I speak English. That means we have to be perfect,
Yeah.
like native level perfect. So let's say people say, "Ah, speak English," and if their people the quality is not good, no, like he doesn't speak English, like so that's the biggest like root cause of this tendency.
Yeah. But
Um,
Mana, one of the things that I'll just say is that it's really easy to criticize. It's hard to actually put yourself out there and do the thing. And
yeah,
the
absolutely.
people who succeed are the ones that put themselves out there and actually do the thing. You know?
Yeah,
It's easy to be somebody who is just like looking from the outside in. A lot of times those people that criticize don't speak English well themselves.
yeah, I guess so.
And it's a lot of like jealousy that they're projecting onto you or whoever they're, criticizing. So
Yeah,
if they're
that's changed
expecting,
my mind.
right?
Yeah.
That they're expecting you to be like this native speaker, but then in reality they don't speak English themselves. So with those type of opinions, we have to take them with a grain of salt, especially if they're saying the criticism in Japanese and not English, right? So think about that, when you're thinking about putting yourself out there, because number one, criticism is good. It means
Mhm.
that people are watching you, they're taking
Mhm.
notes, and
Yeah, thanks for watching me.
right, they're taking notes. And yeah, I mean, a little bit, there's always going to be haters in this world. There's always going to be people who are jealous. But at the end of the day, your journey is your journey to live,
Yeah.
to experience on your own. And yeah, if they're inspired by it, they can take a similar journey. If not, they have their own, and that's it.
Yeah, you're so true. And the thing you said like that, so that changed my mind. So
Hmm.
I decided to say yes because I wanted to like overcome this fear and
Absolutely.
go to the next step.
Absolutely.
And yeah, some people like might like judge me because of this podcast, but it's
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah. That's right. And it's
Even
because you
compliments.
exactly, you have that mindset that is different than 99% of people, right?
Yeah.
Now that that little switch has been turned on, hopefully this will be the start of you going out there, putting yourself out there more and helping people. Because if you approach it with a genuine interest in helping others, I think they'll
Yeah.
they'll feel that in your videos.
Hmm.
A lot of fears that we have are just, fears that, are won't ever actually become something, you know.
Mm.
So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing your English, content and events coming out. I'm putting it out there in your mind right
I'll
now.
think about it.
Let this be the start. Let this be the start of that. Chop this episode up, put some shorts up there, helping people, right? Because people need
Hmm.
help. Um, but yeah, Mana, I think that you're an inspiration, and just I hope that you show others how to study like you. I
Hmm.
wanted to switch gears and talk a little bit about your volunteer work. So,
Okay.
obviously you've helped me and
Hmm.
Siam Ventures and on the English events, and I'm really appreciative about that. But you've also helped other communities as well, such as Musubi Tech, and I'm assuming a
Hmm.
few others, right? Tell us a little bit about what you're interested in volunteering with.
So yeah, I have volunteered some events like hosted by you or like Joe from
Mhm,
Missouri Tech, and also I volunteer for language school sometimes,
mhm,
for Japanese like learners, and
mhm,
I talk with them in Japanese or language exchange thing.
mhm,
And my what I would like the reason why I did volunteer is I'm just my curiosity. I just enjoy helping people.
mhm,
At the same time, my purpose is not getting money, just getting
mhm,
experience.
mhm,
Yeah, because when we do as a work or some I don't know, incentives, like we try to focus on my performance.
right.
Did
Yeah,
it work well? Yeah, like it doesn't worth it, or I spend there 2 hours and I get like 3,000 yen. Like so I don't think about that.
mhm,
I want to like just get an experience and share a moment with others.
mhm,
So that's why like I enjoyed the volunteering, and yeah, and I don't stick to like some identity. I have to be professional, or like I want to work to
mhm,
deserve the like
mhm.
money. So
What
I love
uh
helping people.
what experience have you got from all this volunteer work?
I think I learned a lot of things,
Mm,
but I kind of mostly about self-discovery thing. I realized that I really love to see people do like I don't know, like try to like get out of their comfort zone
mhm,
or like try to improve or having desire and try to reach the goal. I really loved helping those processes.
mhm,
That's the biggest thing I learned from the volunteer experiences.
mhm,
Yeah, back in university, I was learning Japanese language education to become
mhm.
teacher.
Mm,
So yeah, I think I generally like helping people or like improve, like help their improvement, or
right.
I love encouraging people.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But from volunteer, I think a lot of people like want to learn Japanese, but they struggle with fitting Japanese environment, not only about language, but also the cultural thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I heard like in like language school volunteer, like I've heard like some people saying that like I'm struggling with getting Japanese friends
Uh,
because way we interact is different. So way even if we got fluent, we can fluent. Like sometimes a lot of miscommunication happens,
yep.
and I lost some friends without realizing. Like let's hang out again. And but it didn't reach out to me again. Like those kind
Mm,
of things. So
mm.
I've learned like many people struggle with like not only about language but also like cultural thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. And like there's a really good book called The Culture Map that I highly recommend because it goes into the details between Japanese culture and also Western culture and those type of differences. I've been, my 2 years here, have been observing as well, like the differences in
Hmm.
how people interact with each other at various events, whether it be my own events or events I go to like Venture Cafe. There's
Hmm.
Japanese and also foreigners, and sometimes they don't interact that much because the way you approach in Japan is very different from how you approach in Western society.
Yeah.
That's something where hopefully by continued exposure, they'll be able to figure out a happy medium, right? Um,
Yeah, absolutely.
mhm,
And also, we're not used to like diverse environments
mhm,
because we don't really have a lot of immigrants.
mhm,
So we most of them are Japanese from same background.
mhm,
So I think it's very important to have the attitude, the respect of respect each background.
mhm.
Like difference is not like wrong, right or wrong, just different.
Right.
So, oh, we are different. Yeah, we are different, but we can like step in and respect each other and try to understand. That's
Mhm.
the biggest first step to like interact, like in a truly interact with people.
Right.
So not only about foreigners, but also Japanese people, we should have the attitude to
Mhm.
respect your background. Oh, we don't do it in Japan. You're wrong. No, no.
Right.
That's
Exactly.
their culture. They also we have the culture.
Hmm.
So that's the mindset. It's more about language, like everything about right our life.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And
And
yeah, I think that's super important what you said there. As well as, when what a lot of Japanese don't realize is that sometimes foreigners speak Japanese too.
mhm,
And I think they're just afraid to approach them potentially because they think, oh, I'm going to have to speak English. But,
mhm.
sometimes a foreigner will speak fluent Japanese. A
Yeah.
few of my friends just passed the, JLPT
Hmm.
test recently. One of them got N2. So
Hmm.
and she speaks really fluent
Nice.
Japanese, right?
Yeah.
So, that fear of English is preventing some connections from happening. And that's, unfortunate. So, because, yeah, Japanese is, like you said, another tool that a lot of
Yeah.
foreigners learn to help navigate life here. So yeah, I don't know what it's a hard problem here in Japan. It's really hard.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, especially because we are not used to those kind of multicultural environments.
Hmm.
We don't learn those kind of things like cultural like
Mm.
thing. We don't learn like how to accept like other culture. Like I think we don't really do have a class.
That's interesting. Yeah, because in America we learn so much about other cultures because obviously we're a multicultural society, very diverse society.
Yeah.
We learn a lot about other cultures. Geography was huge for me. I love geography, for example. That's why I travel the world. I had a
Mhm.
Japanese history class in university. So,
Okay.
yeah. So,
How
like,
was it?
yeah, it was interesting. It was very, very interesting. But yeah, like, just we're, I think, more curious about others. Whereas I think here, sometimes it's like, oh, okay, you're different. Let me be cautious on how I approach
Mhm.
or interact with you. And that's hopefully will change as, the time goes on.
Yeah, I think I just remember like when I like back in university when I like I when I interact with like non-Japanese people,
Mhm,
and at the time I didn't have enough much experiences with like interact with foreigners,
mhm,
so I thought, oh, this person is so rude. Then I didn't even think about why they behave that way
mm, mhm,
because I was thinking only based on my
mhm,
like cultural norms or my common sense.
mhm,
So, oh, this person doesn't fit the environment.
mhm,
But recently, I think when I saw someone like who behaved differently,
mhm,
like different from that I expected, I usually think their backgrounds.
mm.
Yeah, they don't know or they know, but they don't respect.
Right. There's a difference there for sure, right?
Yeah, the biggest difference.
Hmm.
So I try to like figure out if someone try to respect Japanese culture, like try to like understand others, or just behave, just like behave that way and don't respect others. Or so that's the biggest difference.
Hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, I've learned those kind of like mindset or perspective from the volunteer experiences.
Mm. If you have any advice for foreigners who want to learn how to start conversations with Japanese, what's the best way
Hmm.
to do
Mm,
that?
okay, but first thing is we're not used to talk with strangers.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Right.
not bad or good or bad. Like we're not used to.
Hmm.
So they should
Hmm.
understand the like we don't really have those kind of like interaction with strangers. That's the biggest thing. For
Hmm.
example, like at a store, a cafe, or like saying, "Hey, how are you?" Like we feel like I'm good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the store, and when I went to the US last year, like stores say, "Hey, how are you?" should I tell about my life or my tell about my day?
Uh,
So we don't have the like I
Small
don't know
talk.
custom.
Small talk, right? Yeah.
Yeah, small talk culture.
Hmm. Hmm.
So yeah, it kind of takes courage to initiate conversation. That's the biggest thing they should understand or biggest advice
Mm.
for them. Yeah. But I don't know. What about you? I want to ask your opinion. Like, you interact with Japanese people and then non-Japanese people. Like, do you have any tips or strategy to like?
Well, honestly, I think it's all context dependent, because, if I go and like try and talk to somebody in the train, first of all, you never
Mm,
talk to anybody in the train, so don't do it
yeah.
there, right? Uh, Secondly, I think that if you're in the context where you have a similar interest, it's a lot easier to start a
Mhm.
conversation. So, for example, if you're in let's say, a networking event, and it's like a different, like a tech-focused networking event, you automatically have something to talk about because
Yeah.
there might be a speaker session or something going on at the event within that context that you can talk about and start a
Hmm.
conversation with. If you're at an arcade and you're playing the same video game, right? Then you can say,
Mm.
oh, blah, 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 something about the video game, and, just say something fun. Or if you're playing sports, it's very easy to start conversations there. So I think being in the right context with Japanese people, it makes it a little bit easier, less defense, right? Because you have similar interests, you know?
That's true. You understand Japanese people.
I think that's what I've seen. And it works the same way with, any foreigner as well. If you're in their environment and have a similar interest, it's a lot easier to start a conversation. So, yes, absolutely.
Is there any experiences you learn that mindset? Like,
Just a lot of trial and error, a lot of trial and error for sure.
amazing,
Yeah.
amazing.
I've lived in 4 different countries, traveled to 43 now. So, I've been in situations where I had to talk to people in different environments. And yeah, if you're in the same context where you have similar interests, it's a lot easier. That's why.
Wow. Yeah,
It's
that's so
universal.
true.
Universal, I think. Right? Universal. But yeah, Mana, we spoke a lot about your background, especially your English background, growing up and, like really being making English practice the focus, how you had that role model that really helps you, perfect your American accent, and a little bit about the volunteer work that you did. Is there anything we didn't speak about that you think we should have spoke about?
Not really. Yeah, I think we spoke a lot.
Okay. Okay, good. Excellent. Well, we have a closing tradition on the podcast where the last guest left a question for you, and you'll leave a question for the next guest. Are you ready for your question?
Okay,
Are you ready? All right. Your
I think
question.
so.
Okay. Your question is, what 3 things do you need to do in order to thrive?
Okay. First thing is you don't
Mm-hmm.
need to do, but it's very important thing to me
Hmm.
is having curiosity. Having curiosity, and second thing is stopping pursuing perfection. Don't try to be perfect.
Hmm.
And third is just a little trial and error.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
those three things are really important. And I'm not talking about just to strive, but if we have three those mindset, like having curiosity and don't afraid to be don't afraid to be imperfect
Hmm.
and just try and error. I think we can at least we can improve and learn from other things around me.
Hmm.
Because I think nothing is waste in my life. So some people say it's kind of waste or there's no point. But it's waste because you think that way.
Exactly.
So at least you have attitude to learn
Hmm.
or get something new.
Hmm.
Like we definitely find something.
Mm.
So I don't know. Sorry, I'm rambling.
No.
Actually.
No, that's good. Yeah, and actually that advice can apply in so many areas of life, whether it be building a business or,
Yeah.
in relationships or, anywhere. Because if you're curious, that means you want to know more, right? If you're not afraid to fail, then that means you can do the trial and error part a lot easier.
Yeah.
If you're not, seeking perfection all the time, you're okay with your imperfections, and it'll allow you to grow instead of be held back by that. So I really love that. Excellent. All right, now Mana, it's your turn to ask a question for the next guest.
Mm, okay. My question for next guest is, what is the biggest challenge or fear that you recently like got over, and how did you like overcame it? How
Oh,
did you overcome it?
oh, I like it. Oh, that's very good.
Because I overcame my fear today.
That's
Just be
good.
on a podcast. So
Yay. That's good.
yeah.
That's good. Mana, honestly, I think that you should be doing a lot more podcasts because you're very, very well spoken. Obviously, you have a lot to share. The reason why I brought you on is everyone has a story, and I think
Mhm.
that your story should inspire other Japanese to improve their English so that they can, be successful. Your English, the way it's at right now, is going to open up so many doors for you in the rest of
Mhm.
your career, they have no idea, honestly, because this is just the beginning of your career. I think this is what, your first job that you're in,
Yeah, it's my third year.
right? So like it's going to get even better and better. Better opportunities will keep, opening up for you because you have that English. You're going to learn from sources all around the world. So you're going to have conversations with really interesting people that are going to inspire you to travel and do things, all because you learned the language, the lingua franca of the world. Okay?
Yeah,
So
broaden my world and perspective. And I want to help people to broaden their perspective and world.
And I think you will. I think you will. I think hopefully after this conversation, you're inspired to start your first event and yeah, your community. And I'll be looking forward to seeing that. All right. All right. Of,
Okay.
of course, I will share your LinkedIn profile in this description so people get in touch with you.
Yeah.
And do you have any last words for anyone watching you right now?
If you watching this episode, I really appreciate you spend time with me or with us, just
Mhm.
watching and talking about my experience. And yeah, I'm still like very early on this my career. It's my third year, but I love to like explore a lot of things, not only about my tech industry, but also everything. So if you like got inspired or like share something or share my ideas, yeah, feel free to reach out to me. Thank
Excellent.
you.
Mana, it's been an absolute pleasure on the podcast with you today. Thank you so much, and I will see you soon.
Yeah, thank you so much.
That's a wrap for this episode of the ProDuck Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a like and subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Spotify, or leave a review on Apple Podcasts. It really helps this channel grow. And if you are a product manager or a startup founder who wants to share your story or some of the struggles that you've gone through in your career, then definitely reach out to us. We'd love to have you on. And until next time, happy building, everyone.